that will reflect on your professional life as well. If you think you're not good enough to do your project, that mentality, that gesture is definitely going to be reflected on how you communicate with your team members, how you deliver your product, how you do your presentations, because I feel if I'm not good enough will translate. And if you don't even think you're good enough at work of what you do in Gojek, how do you expect your team members to think you're good? How do you expect your boss to look at you, your team leader, say, yeah, you deserve a raise? How can you possibly expect to push yourself to the next level of promotion? Because you don't even put yourself in that position. You put yourself low to begin with. And when you don't respect your own values, you don't even think you're worth it, that's where you're going to stay, because that's how you're going to treat yourself. And that energy of how you treat yourself will come out. It will transfer to how you communicate with other people, and that's how they're going to treat you. So in this girl's case, you are all right. All these answers were great, because this girl did not value her own feelings as the top of priority. When she has a choice, right? It's not like she's going to see this boyfriend and a mother-in-law all the time. She has a chance. That's her choice if she wants to cut it. And she obviously wants to, but she's afraid of judgments, external opinions. She doesn't even respect herself as a free individual. And of course, they're going to take advantage of her. They're just going to keep using her. And to a bigger extent, the consequence of that is in your professional life, if you think you're not good enough, you're always going to compromise. So what might happen is your team members might keep on asking you, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Do me a favor. And you're like, yes, 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 because I'm afraid that they'll judge me. I'm afraid that they will think I'm not a good teammate. You don't set up your boundaries. That does not necessarily make you a good teammate, because you're just a person who's always yes, yes. And you might be afraid at expressing your opinions at a meeting when people want you to contribute and you're just very silent. So there's no way that your teammates or your boss will think, oh, this is a very actively engaged team member. And in your personal life, you might keep on compromising on things that you should not compromise, to the point that you make yourself so unhappy, such as this girl. To the further extent, it happens a lot in relationships, from family members making demands to romantic relationships, marriages. A lot of people allow themselves to tolerate abuse, long-term abuse, because they are afraid they're not good enough. They don't think they deserve it. They don't think they're worth it. I was one of those examples. For 20 years, I was constantly moving from one relationship to the next because I was afraid to be alone. I needed that attention to validate that I am good, that I'm worth it. So I move on, boom, 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 always compromising in a relationship that I shouldn't have to be there to begin with. So yeah, sure enough, the predators could sense that. Yeah, so yes, I was abused, financially, verbally, emotionally, physically, you name it. I had a marriage that failed with an alcoholic. It's because people who are selfish will sense that your lack of confidence, your lack of self-respect, self-value, self-worth, if you don't even love yourself enough, you will not be able to expect other people to treat you in the way that you hope they treat you. So a good relationship with your teammates in your professional life, with your family, in your personal life, or with your loved ones in your romantic life, all that has to start with a good relationship with yourself. Because if you don't even treat yourself nicely, who's going to treat you nicely? You put yourself in a condition that your enabling condition is, I don't deserve to be treated well. So that's where this workshop is about. We talk about self-care and self-healing,